I'm Kagz and welcome back to Cooking With, the show where we teach you how to make simple yet delicious meals from your home. This week I'm coming to you from one of my favorite places in the world. It's called the Anubis Trout and Seafood Grill. It not only serves some of the best seafood ever, but you also get a chance to catch your own trout, which is exactly what we did yesterday. Now these have been cleaned and gutted properly, so they're ready for us to start cooking. We're going to be making a very simple pan-fried trout dish, something you can make at home, and you can change that for another fish that's easier to get, maybe tilapia, maybe a snapper, but I really love how meaty and also yet how delicate trout is. So the first stage is to dry our fish so that we get a nice crispy skin. You just need to dab it all over, get any excess water on it, and just make sure that when we cook it, it tastes beautiful and crispy. Everyone loves a good crisp. Now once that is done, the next is to season it. I really like to make a very simple dredge. Sorry, there's like a cow outside. I like to make a really simple dredge, which is just flour with some spices and salt. It also adds to the crispiness of the skin, and that's one of my favorite things about it. So to do that, we're just going to get our plate. We have about a cup of flour, you don't need much more. Put that on the plate. Have sea salt, about a tablespoon of some sea salt, a little white pepper, about a tablespoon's worth, white pepper, a little dried coriander, some garlic powder, and a little bit of turmeric just for some color. Mix that all up. Again, you don't want this to be thick, you just want a light coating on the fish. Make sure that's take our first fish. Right, you can cut the heads off this, but there's some beautiful meat in that section, so if you're not squeamish, I highly recommend that you keep that in there. So I'm just gonna dredge it a little bit. So shake off any excess flour, and we are going to put that to rest right here while we wait for it to cook. You repeat it with your second fish or with however many you are making. Right, got those two ready. Now we're gonna go prepare the pan which we're gonna fry them in. And I can use any cooking oil, butter, anything. I just really like using olive oil to make my fish. And we'll add a dab of butter to it, like a pepper. Also, this helps the butter not burn, because butter has a very low melting point, so the longer it's on here, the more you get burnt butter. We're gonna add our onions. Add a couple of onions. Garlic, about 2 or 3 cloves of it, finely chopped. So what we're doing is we're adding flavor into the oil so that when you cook the fish, all that goes into that as well. I'm going to put our first little guy in here. Yeah, see, a little bit crowded, but it's absolutely okay. Get them in like that. So we want to let this cook for a few minutes, until the bottom is brown. Once you get that nice caramelized thing, that's when you should flip it over, because you want that char, you want to see that brown on it. So I'm going to leave that for a little bit, and then once they're done, we'll turn them over and do the other side. Okay, so we've been cooking for about 6 minutes. We're going to try to flip over our fish. Oh. Yay! That is exactly what I want to see. See that? Beautiful browning. Look at that other guy. Oh, yay. Perfect. Right, now we're going to let it cook a little bit longer on the other side. This is basically the whole recipe. So it's very lightly shallow frying your fish and with your spices and your onions and garlic, and then afterwards finishing it off with some butter and rosemary. So you can just see. It might look like a lot of butter, but trust me, butter makes everything taste great. Just make sure not all your meals are made out of it. Just going to add our rosemary into that. And with a spoon, just baste our fish. So these are now basically done, so we're going to plate it. Look how beautiful that trout is. Place that on there. Squeeze of lemon. And that is it. We have our beautiful rosemary pan-fried fresh trout. A delicious meal, super easy to make. Again, you can use a different type of fish. There's, tilapia, the snapper, all the regular ones. I just feel like I kind of get bored of eating that at the same time all the time. So we have a fresh trout. Now we can finally try it. I'm just going to add a final sprinkling of some sea salt. Love sea salt. And we are done. We're gonna cut into it, and we should be seeing some beautiful, flaky, moist fish. That's exactly what we want. Now, I'm just gonna use my hands because this is just gonna be easier. And here's our fish. See the flakes, it's still moist, it's not dry. Dry fish is awful and it's fully cooked through. So let's give it a taste. It's delicious. With a crispy skin, really juicy, meaty flesh is why I love trout. You can taste the rosemary and the garlic and the slight hint of citrus, but it's delicious. So there you have it. There is our fresh caught trout. Try it on home, let us know what you think, and let us know what you'd like to see us cook next time. So until then, see you guys.
The closest thing to a miracle that you could experience here on earth. Like,